Deshaun Watson is the new face of the Cleveland Browns. He is the new QB1 in Cleveland as the Browns made a historic deal to land the 26-year-old signal caller. We're going to talk about it right after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr here with the Black Boss Channel and Victory Information. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, Deshaun Watson, we found out that he won't be charged criminally. He still has 22 sexual assault civil lawsuits against him, but now he has a new home and a nice fat contract with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have traded 3 first-rounders, a third and a fourth for Deshaun Watson, and have given him a new $230 million fully guaranteed contract to be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns for the future, for the foreseeable future. And they have also stipulated the contract. They also have worked the contract. Shout out to David Mallengetta, the agent of Deshaun Watson, because he worked a miracle with this one. I mean, he just did. They've also structured the contract to where if Watson, because of these lawsuits, is suspended by the league, that is minimal damage to his money. They've protected his money for the potential 4, 6, 8 game suspension that could be coming down from Roger Goodell in the league office. And so David Mallengetta, shout out to him and Athletes First, the guys over there. They have structured this deal, a historic deal. It's the most guaranteed money ever for any football player, $230 million, all fully guaranteed. It's the most guaranteed money ever, way more than what Aaron Rodgers just got guaranteed, and he got $150 million guaranteed. Watson, on average, it isn't the most, but it is the most ever fully guaranteed, $230 million. So shout out to Deshaun Watson. He is the new quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Now, with that comes a lot of baggage. A lot of people are torn on this deal. Some Browns fans are ecstatic. They get rid of Baker. They upgrade the quarterback. They also brought in Amari Cooper. They also still have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt at the running backs. They also still have a really, really good offensive line. And now you add an elite quarterback. Last time we saw him play 2 seasons ago, he was an elite quarterback. Not a good quarterback, not a very good. No, he was an elite quarterback. Like MVP caliber quarterback. You add that to your running game, to your offensive line, to your defense that has Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, etc., have really good players over on the defensive side. In a division that is stacked, don't get me wrong, the division is tough. Pittsburgh never has a losing season. Baltimore upgraded this offseason, and the Bengals upgraded this offseason coming off a Super Bowl run. This is a tough division, but you immediately quite possibly have the best quarterback in that division. And this is a big move by the Cleveland Browns. Now, for you at home, I'm not telling you how to feel. Deshaun Watson does have 22, let me count it out, 22 sexual assault lawsuits against him. That's not no laughing matter. That's not something to brag about, badosh about, act like it's invisible. No, that is a serious thing. So, like I said, that because of that, some people are torn. They love the fact that their team has gotten better, but they also are like, what did it cost us? And it's so difficult, so much so when a landmark deal like this is made, when a team trades for a high-level quarterback like this, even if they're older, they typically have a press conference. They typically blow this up. They typically shoot this out everywhere. Now, Deshaun posted about him being traded to the Browns, but he was able to do it before the Browns did. And the Browns sent the press release on Sunday afternoon. And the Browns have not yet scheduled a press conference. Let's just use Russell Wilson as an example. When Russell Wilson, who's in his 30s, by the way, he's older than Deshaun Watson, a little more accomplished, but definitely older than Deshaun Watson. So I get it. But when he was traded from the Seahawks to the Broncos, they blew this up. They put it everywhere. Then Russ was seen on the radio. Russ was seen in the Children's Hospital in Denver. Russ was being shown getting on the private jet to Denver, getting off the jet in Denver. And then the press conference, it was a big deal. Russ was able to talk. He had his tie, he had his family. They was holding the jersey. that fanfare isn't the same for Deshaun Watson. I've been listening to different people talk, and there's some interesting things that are going to come with this when it comes to Deshaun Watson. One, obviously, the Browns had to do their due diligence. They had to talk to not only David Mulugheta, Deshaun's agent, also Deshaun Watson. Now, from what I understand, they met with Deshaun Watson. They spoke with him. They spoke with him and his agent. Then they spoke with him. Then they brought some of the best players on their team, and they spoke with Deshaun Watson. They all got together. And one thing I will say, if you've ever heard Deshaun Watson talk, whether it's on public or on radio, whatever, YouTube, just Google it. The man's very impressive. The man can speak. He can really impress a room. And whatever he said to not only the brass of the Cleveland Browns, which is their owner, their GM, their coach, Kevin Stefanski, but also to their top players. I'm sure Myles Garrett was there. I'm sure some other guys were there that are really top dogs over at the Cleveland organization. He impressed them. He impressed them so much so that they made him the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL when it comes to guaranteed money, the highest paid player in the history of the NFL when it comes to guaranteed money. Even knowing that he is probably going to get suspended 4, 6, or maybe even 8 games this year in the 2022 season. He's going to miss all of September and probably most of October. And still, they were able to pull the trigger. And still, they walked away impressed enough to make this deal. And still, they were able to say, he is who we want as our next leader of our organization. Now, it's interesting. It's very interesting. And this is, I mean, it is what it is, hell, I'm just saying it. It's interesting because one of the things that Cleveland said that they didn't want, the reason why they were moving off Baker, not just because his play was they needed to upgrade because all the other teams in the division have upgraded, but they said they wanted a grown-up at quarterback. Are you being hypocritical by bringing in Deshaun Watson? You said you want a grown-up at quarterback, but Deshaun Watson has 22 women that said he sexually violated them in lawsuits. Now, granted, he won't be charged criminally, as we know, but that don't sound like a grown-up. We gotta put it all out there. We gotta lay it all out. We have to put everything in context. If you say you want a grown-up at quarterback, and then you bring in Deshaun Watson, now I'm not saying Deshaun Watson doesn't sound like a grown-up. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson, when he walks in a room, doesn't look like a grown-up. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson, when people speak with him, don't sound the part, look the part. Let me not go that far. With his teammates anyway, in a football sense anyway. Sound the part, look the part, act the part in a football sense like a grown-up. But there's 22 women out there that says he does a little too much. So these are things you have to balance when you're Cleveland. These are things that you thought about when you're Cleveland when it comes to PR. These are things that you have to consider when you sign a guy who was extremely talented, who can really do things that your last guy couldn't do, who can really take your team over the top, who you believe you're betting the bank on quite physically, literally, to move the needle for your team, for your organization. Just be prepared, and I'm sure they are, but just be prepared for what comes with that. Because think about this. Sexual assault, it's no laughing matter. Me Too is a real thing. Protest could possibly happen from the Deshaun Watson trade. Losing of sponsorships could possibly happen for the Deshaun Watson trade. These things the Cleveland Browns have considered, I'm sure. I'm sure my guys over there at the PR department, they know who they are getting ready. They got to crack their fingers and get ready to prep not just the other players on the team, but prep Deshaun, because these questions are going to come throughout the season. These questions are going to come if they have an introductory press conference, which you typically have when you trade for a star quarterback, which you typically have when you have a star quarterback, whether you draft them, trade them, sign them, free agency, whatever. This typically takes place when you have a superstar like Deshaun Watson. And let's not fake the funk. Deshaun Watson, when he's healthy, last saw, he was a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback player in the NFL. And I know my guys over in the Cleveland Browns PR department are cracking their fingers and getting ready to go to work, because they're going to have a lot of work to put in with this. So this is going to be interesting to watch play out. One thing I will say about the NFL, more than any other league, but sports in general, but specifically the NFL, one thing I will say is that when you win, right, wrong, indifferent, however you feel about it, this stuff goes away. If Deshaun Watson, whether it's after 4, 6, 8, 10 games, a suspension or whatever, because I think a suspension's coming, even though he didn't play last year, I think a suspension is still coming. After that suspension, if he hits the ground running and starts winning football games, and the Cleveland Browns are a good team, and the Cleveland Browns are battling for a division title, and the Cleveland Browns are battling for a conference title, and the Cleveland Browns are Super Bowl contenders, and the Cleveland Browns look like a team to beat in the NFL, whether it's AFC, NFC, whatever, a team that can legit win a Super Bowl, all of this is just noise. All of this noise will go away really, really quickly. We've seen it. Time after time after time after time after time. If you start winning, this league forgives really quickly. We'll just have to see what happens. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Deshaun Watson, $230 million fully guaranteed with the Cleveland Browns. Shout out to David Mulangetta and Athletes First. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you guys for tuning in. Leave your comments down below. Would you have wanted your team, your favorite team, to trade for Deshaun Watson? And how do you think the Deshaun Watson experience in Cleveland is going to work? Is it going to work? Is it going to fail? Is it going to flop? Is it going to be great? Does it result in a Super Bowl or Super Bowls, or does it result in just misery? Leave your thoughts in the chat. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, my name is JeffLightsyJr. with the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the Black Boss Channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JLightsy7, as at JLightsy7 on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you next time. Peace.